What's up, Destiny makers and takers? Influencer of influencers, here to influence you to live your most best life, the stress-free life, all that good stuff. So, with that being said, um, I gotta talk to y'all a little bit today. Usually, I don't. I usually start off with some music and stuff like that, but today, I actually got a lot to talk about. So, um, basically um I did a manifestation that I did not want to do. So like when I tell y'all, like, basically when you be making these manifestations, it's like you thinking about stuff that you want, not thinking about stuff that you don't want, right? Or not talking about stuff that you don't want. So a lot of times we will be in a situation, I like to call it the A situation, because like whatever happens, when it happens right then and there, like how I always talk about the moments and present moment, when it happens to you, you think it's the worst thing that could happen. Whether it's a breakup, whether you get fired from a job, whether it's I don't know, anything that happens to you and your instant reaction is, yo, this is the worst thing that could happen to me, then that's like, in my book, that's like the A situation. Because when that thing happened to you, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So by the time you get through B, C, D, whatever, and you get over here, it's like, yo, how did that happen? So my manifestation that I did, that was like, I guess you could say it's a bad manifestation. I don't know if it's bad. You can't say it's bad because it turned out so good. But basically, um, while I was like most of y'all know, I do Lyft. So I drive Lyft. So while driving Lyft, my car was just giving me like crazy problems. I'm talking about like every day it was a new problem. Besides, like, the car was leaking like oil. Every 2 days I had to put like $14 worth of oil in there, like 2 quarts of oil, like every 2 to 3 days. Then the gas was killing me. But gas killing everybody. But so I ain't gonna complain about the gas. But the oil was like an extra bill that I did not need. And it was just like, the car was a 2017, and they stopped making the vehicle. So once I found out that they stopped making it, I really was trying to get rid of it. I was trying to get something else. But Mom Dukes had co-signed for me, so she wasn't trying to jump into another co-sign deal with me. So it was like my back was against the wall. And while I was driving, I kept constantly voicing that, yo, if I could just work on my YouTube all day. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish that I was getting paid from YouTube to the point where, as though I could just do my manifestation videos, do my shorts, do my lives and all that. So within me, saying that to people, I will always say like, oh, this car, if I ain't have to drive all day, I could I could do my lives on YouTube and this, that, and the other. And by me just kept on voicing like, if I ain't have to drive, if I ain't have to drive, if I oh, I wish I ain't have to drive. Oh, I wish I could have just sit at home and do my YouTube all day. And by saying that to so many people and keeping that live in my I want to say in my aura or my energy, just constantly talking about it, constantly talking about it. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, is this car and how it's giving me problems. And we know how that go, and you just constantly think about it. And what happened was, the car broke down on me. So when the car broke down on me, of course, I started screaming, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me, because, I use my car for work. So now, if I don't have a car for work, can't make no money, and now bills are piling up even more. So I was like down and out, and I don't know, y'all couldn't really tell because, I was just, like I said, I would do my videos because that's what I asked for. I asked that I have to work and do my videos. So what I did was, I said, you know what, this is going to be the thing that's going to make me, really propel with my YouTube. So the crazy thing about it is, had my car not broke down, I wouldn't have been doing my lives. I wouldn't be as focused in doing my lives as I have been. So that's like the thorough part about that is that, like I said, since the car broke down, and I've been asking for it to break down, yeah. And then when it happened, a situation is the worst thing that could happen, like a bad breakup. You always talk about how this person treats you so bad, and you hate this and you hate that, and I wish I had somebody else, and you thinking about other people and all that. And then when you break up with the person, then it's like, oh, now I'm lonely and I wish I had the person. For me, it was, oh man, I wish I had the car. I'm just about to pay it off. It's almost paid off, and all of that now. But now the car's not working. So for about 2 weeks, I was just chilling in the crib. And then it got to a point where I just like, I ain't gonna front. I was praying on it every day, like, God, what should I do? Please just guide me in the right direction of what I should do, or, whatever. And it's random, but I heard it was like, yo, go on Capital One and do what you did last time. Try to get pre-approved. So I went on there and I put my information in again, knowing that my credit score was down, knowing that, everything was pointing the opposite direction of what I needed. But I did it anyway, like, yo, I just hope it could work. Like, God, please make it work. Jump in my phone, God, and make this thing work. So I wound up just putting in my information and wound up actually getting pre-approved, even though it was like kind of like the same situation I was in before, where I got pre-approved, but they wanted me to put like kind of like a big down payment. So I was like, you know what, well, I'm halfway there, so what I did was, I was like, you know what, I gotta go to this dealership. So I wound up just randomly like, you know what, waking up one morning, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to the dealership today. So I went to the dealership, and like, I'm talking about, I rolled in silence over there. Got to the dealership and was just like, excuse me, please work, just like really praying on it. And they wound up telling me, well, if you could get together $500 and show some proof of insurance, we could get you in this car today. So I'm like, what? So now I'm like at the point where it's like, yo, where the hell am I going to get $1,000 in a few hours? Like, I don't even got a few hundred. Like, where am I going to get this money? So I just started thinking, and just random people would come into my mind, like, call this person. Well, long story short, I'm going to say it wasn't even 2 or 3 hours. I wound up getting together like about 600. And I wound up calling my insurance company, whereas though they wanted me to pay like $500 for my insurance, but I got a really cool insurance dude, and he like, oh yeah, shout out to State Farm, yo. If y'all got a like, if y'all with State Farm, if y'all ain't with State Farm, yo, shout out to State Farm, and shout out to my man Dave for like helping me out, because he, when I tell you, he made it so I could just pay like half of my insurance. So I wound up paying half of my insurance. I called the dealership back, yo, I paid my insurance, but I couldn't get all the money, but I got 300. Could y'all do something with that? They're like, no, we really need this. So I just hung up, and about 15 minutes later, they called me. If you could get down here with that 300, we gonna make something happen today. And I ran down there, got the money, got everything together, got to the dealership, and did the paperwork and everything. And like I said, for the last 3 years, I've been telling people like, yo, when I get my Tesla, when I get my Tesla, that's what I was saying. When I get my Tesla, I'm going to do my live videos every day while I'm charging. Every day, I'm going to do my live videos while I'm charging. And guess what, y'all? We about to be doing live videos and charging. So I did manifest the Tesla. And also, my first manifestation of the year was to get 1,000 subscribers. Did it. Second manifestation, But this manifestation has been going on for, like I said, at least 2 to 3 years to get this car. Is now done. Now, another manifestation to do the lives on YouTube while I'm charging. So I'm just letting y'all know it's a done deal now. The Tesla is in the box, in the bag, whatever you want to call it, and I will be starting to do these lives. I'm not sure what time they're gonna be, but they're gonna be like little half an hour lives while I'm charging in between my day. So now that I gave y'all that story, and I usually don't start off with a story, but now that I gave y'all that story, I believe my stream is actually going good enough that I could try to play some music. So I'm gonna play like one song, maybe two songs, maybe one song. But basically I want everybody that's in here right now to do what I usually tell y'all to do, which is, you know, I don't know if you drink or if you know, whatever. It ain't gotta be all about drinking and smoking. But if you know, whatever, how you chilling, you want to get a sandwich or a snack, get your snack so that you could be chilling, so you ain't gotta get up to get nothing. That's the whole point of it. You know, get your water so you already got it. Get your tea so you can not be thirsty. And then, you know, like I said, I'm gonna play these couple little bit of music, and yeah. And then we're gonna get it started. Oh yeah, and the first thing the lady asked me about was my Vortex bracelet when I got to the dealership. She was like, where did you get that? And I always talk about Tesla's work, Nikola Tesla's work. Now I got the Tesla, and this is Nikola Tesla's work. This is actually a guy named Marco Rodin that discovered this vortex circle, but Tesla started off before him, and he used Tesla's work and amplified it. So, like I said, go get all your refreshments, get what you need, and we gonna play some songs, or maybe one or two songs, and then I'm gonna jump right into Brian Tracy because I'm very excited for it today. So why don't I hear no music, right? Here we go. So I hope that all that talking I was doing, I hope it went through, y'all. Because I definitely did not have this. You see this right here? I'm supposed to have this on this so that it's doing what's on my screen and my mic, but I should be alright. I think it picked it up.
Focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts. Found out the hacks, put it in the rap. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts. We in your city, full of what we had. Facts. That's facts though, I talk factos. That's J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds that made the grass grow. I'm a real floater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras aligning, I shock them like blunt. Only pope with your knowledge, your nigga is problem.
At these events, I'm a thought to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino. The game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Came in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, this not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Rebo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts. Found out the hacks, put it in the rap. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts. We in your city, full of what we had. Facts.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, started for biscuits. Father the isfits, martyr the misfits. God is my witness, God on my hate list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with stakes, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. As part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art, the C is for clothes. I'm playing my part. T is for check, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres or acres get lost in the dark. Be playing a part, be playing it smart. Facts, facts, okay. The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Rebo, killing the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grind, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. Found out the hacks, put it in nitty rap. Facts, facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts.
Play this. This the one that got me there. We gotta play this one. It's that work.
Is she texting someone behind your
that
back?
Work right here.
A
I'm
single
gonna play this song,
Spokio
then I'm gonna
search
jump right
can help
into
you find
Brian
out who she's
Tracy, y'all.
messaging.
I'm in a word like exhale. Only time to see me inhale is right before I exhale. Big guy, big dream, double XL. Two words that you never hear me say are let's chill. I can't say that. Try to stand tall, no I can't lay back. Every time I fall, I ran right back. Now I'm in the palm of his hand like that, like that. Let's just keep it going, we ain't never stopping. Running to the Lord, the devil running out of options. Oof, I gave God the will, he said hop in. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, my songs be knocking. That is right, okay. From darkness to light, it's night and day. Hey, a bird can't fly when inside a cage. Never gon' perish like where the Eiffel stay. Cause I'm good, dog, I'm fine, y'all. We praise God all night long. My hands high, my pride low. We can't die this lifelong. All day to the night to the evening. I'm thankful that my heart is beating. My praise is fighting a demon. Stay faithful when I don't see it or feel it. Some days I don't feel like it. Some days I wonder should I quit. Some days I wonder where time went. Some days I wonder where God been. Where God been. I've been trying to find him. I've been trying to find him. Every time I try to talk, all I hear is just because you don't hear God doesn't mean he doesn't hear you. Just because you don't feel his presence doesn't mean he's not with you. Me and God closer than we ever been. Now the devil knocking on my door, but I can't let him in. I just go to Yahweh because he my father and my friend. Nowadays I open up the Bible more than Instagram. I just wanna lift my hands and scream and shout like Will I Am. My God's so good. He gave me way more than I thought he could. We knocking out the devil, we don't knock on wood. Cause what's good luck to a God this good? Oof. I'm not good enough, but I'm thankful God is. Even when I'm weak, my God is the strongest. I stopped telling God how big my problems are and started telling all my problems how big my God is. My God is giving me strength and guidance. I'm nothing, God is everything. So that means that you can't divide us.
More and more you reprogram all previous data in your subconscious computer so that it is consistent with high self-esteem, personal effectiveness, and excellent personal performance. Is that the key to your success in life is to use the power of your subconscious mind to program it with facts, words, pictures, ideas, and feelings consistent with high performance, and keep your mind on what you desire and off of what you fear. Remember, the only thing in the world you can control is your thinking. The only thing in the world you can control are your conscious thoughts, and if you will do that, everything else will become possible for you.
Tracy presenta el curso Fénix sobre la psicología del conocimiento.
What is Boy talking about?
The second part of peak performance, I think the two key requirements, the second part is self-responsibility. Self-esteem plus self-responsibility, each reinforcing themselves. And what self-responsibility says simply is that you are the architect of your own destiny, that you are the master of your own fate, that you are totally self-responsible, that everything that you are or ever will be is up to you and you alone. Now, you can believe in a higher power, as I do, and you can say that the higher power is responsible, but God helps those who help themselves. And for this earthly life, you're in charge of your life. You're in charge of what happens to you. If you don't like the way things are going, it's up to you to change it. But there's no way that you can ever give away responsibility. And this whole subject of responsibility is one that is very controversial. And as you will see as we talk in this session, it's one that you have to understand with crystal clarity if you want to achieve your full potential as a human being. So, we go over here. One of the things that we know is we start off as infants, if you like, when we're born. I'll just write I for infant. We start off as infants, and as we grow to become adults at the age of 18 years, we start off with zero responsibility. And as we grow toward becoming adults, we gain responsibility more and more, until by the time we become adults at the age of 18 years, if our parents have brought us up properly, if they have prepared us, if they've encouraged us to be self-reliant, if they've encouraged us to make our own decisions and think for ourselves and plan our own lives, at the age of 18 years, legally speaking, psychologically, morally, mentally, physically, and everything else, you are ready to take over your own life. Now, if your parents have not prepared you as an adult for total responsibility, it doesn't matter. At the age of 18, and from 18 onward, you are 100% responsible. For the rest of your life, you can never absolve yourself of responsibility. For the rest of your life, everything that happens to you is up to you, totally, and without forgiveness. The slogan of the truly responsible person is, if it's to be, it's up to me. Which means, as Henry Ford said, never complain, never explain. Never complain, never explain. What that means is if you don't like the way things are, then it's up to you to change them. And if you're not willing to take steps to change them, then don't complain about them. Just simply accept them. Men who are men and women who are women don't complain about the difficulties of life. They just accept them as the difficulties of life, and they either do something about them or they don't say anything. So if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you. This is one of the hardest things to understand, because when we're children, at this stage, we're totally dependent. And being totally dependent, we develop, if you like, a habit pattern or a conditioned response, and we look for the reason that things happen outside of ourselves. As we become adults, if we're not careful, we will still retain this dependency, and we will long for what is called the pseudo-security of childhood. That time in childhood when someone took care of us. That time in childhood when we were fed and clothed and our home was taken care of and our school and everything. We didn't have to worry about a thing because they took care of it. As we grow up, we go off to school, and the people at school, they take care of things. And if we're not careful, we get into the work world, and then again, it's they. It's always someone else outside of ourselves who is ultimately responsible for ourselves. One of the things which I'll talk about later is the whole idea of self-development. Most people, because they've been taken all their education in the public school system, think that it's up to them when they're adults to continue their education. If nobody comes along to continue it, they just simply don't do it. Now, there's another point, and that's the difference between maturity and immaturity. And here's a very simple example. Imagine that this is the course of life, again, from infancy to adulthood. And everybody reaches the stage, sooner or later, where they come to this great cliff and this great canyon. And this is the side of immaturity. This is the side of childhood. This is the side where we are dependent upon others and where we look to others for our answers and our solutions. We look outside of ourselves. At this point, we come to the edge of this canyon. At the edge of this canyon, we look across into the land of maturity, the land of adulthood. And each one of us has to make a decision to jump in one great leap from being a child to being an adult. Now, sometimes this is forced on us. Sometimes it happens in an evolutionary way. But sooner or later, we have to make the decision to accept the fact that we're in charge of our own lives, we're the architects of our own destinies, and then get on with it. What do most people do? Unfortunately, what most people do is they turn back at this point. They slip into marriages where somebody will take care of them. They take jobs where they expect their bosses to take care of them and so on. Or they just simply avoid responsibility by looking for the cause of everything that happens to them in other people and other circumstances. It's their bills, it's their health, it's the way their parents treated them and so on. They're not really responsible. On the other hand, sometimes they decide to take a little responsibility, but not too much, which is the equivalent of trying to leap over a canyon in 2 jumps. And where the vast majority of people end up, unfortunately, is in the valley. And this is the valley of excuses. The great majority of people spend their whole life in the valley of excuses, making excuses rather than making progress. There's an old saying that says the disease of excusitis, which is the habit of making excuses to excuse away our failures and our inadequacies, is fatal to success. The habit of making excuses is fatal to your success. So the question you have to ask yourself when we talk about responsibility is, what excuses do you use not to move ahead? There was a very famous story by Tolstoy, where Tolstoy and his brothers would play, and they had a game. And the game was that out in the garden, there would be a box. And in the box was the answer to all the riddles of life. And you could find the box under a certain bush as long as you didn't think about a big white rabbit.
Empower.
I'm gonna try to go
Are you
full
ready
screen,
for
y'all.
retirement? Our free retirement planner shows you where you stand now and how you
Don't be mad at me
sign up today.
if it
As long as you kept your mind
Static.
clear of that big white rabbit and you didn't think about the rabbit, you could find the answer to all the mysteries of life. Well, of course, nobody ever found the box, or nobody ever found the answer to the mysteries of life because they couldn't stop thinking of the big white rabbit. The question you have to ask yourself is, what is your big white rabbit? Is what is it that you think of? What is the excuse that looms into your mind whenever you think of something that you could do or have or be? A new job, a new challenge, an opportunity, changing something in your life that you're not happy with. What is the white rabbit? What is the excuse that pops into your mind? You say, well, I can't do that because. Or another thing is, yes, but. I'd like to, but. There's always a reason. I'm too young, I'm too old. I'm too tall, I'm too short. I don't have enough education. I've got too much education. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong place, and so on. What is your white rabbit? What is it that sticks in the back of your mind that causes you to make excuses, that causes you to hang back from taking responsibility, that keeps you in the land of childhood, immaturity, and irresponsibility? Very, very important question to ask. Now, when we talk about responsibility, we talk about something else.
That was a real good one. But I got a lot of noise in the background with the fam. So the next live is going to be tomorrow when I'm charging up. Even though I'm not going to stop doing these lives, we still going to do these ones because I feel like this is really good information. So I'm going to still do these lives, but we going to do lives in the car too as well. So look forward to the charge up lives and look forward to these lives as well. And don't forget, like I said, I had to remind myself that my present moment when my car was not working it was just a moment, and I had to stop thinking about that and put my mind on what can I do that's gonna help me. Not, well, I already know this ain't gonna help me. The car ain't gonna help me if it ain't working. So what is the next move? What is the next move? What is the next move? Always think about what is the next move. What's the next best move? So I usually tell y'all the same thing. Every present moment is a gift. That's why we have the gift of life. All these presents we get, all these present moments. So do not waste your present moment. Don't judge your present moment. Just love your present moment. So, oh yeah, and don't forget the main thing, right? Stay